So, you're finally ready to launch your dream business as an LLC or limited liability.
What it do, world? What it do? Cozy Clubhouse. Cozy Clubhousers all around the internet. All around the world, all around the internet. What it do and what it is. Uh, it's that whole thing. Um, it's a whole thing. We really got it to work. Um, over there on the YouTube side. Hello. What's happening with y'all? The Twitch side, what it do? What happening? How we doing? How we feeling? This is episode number 15 of the Cozy Corner podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about everything. Uh, Doing good. How am I? I am well. This is the Cozy Corner podcast where um you know, I just give my opportunities to talk about things. Um to talk about things going on in my life, talk about things going on in my music career, talk about um stuff that we have planned, that we have coming up. Um yeah, it just all things creative. Yes. Um I say this all the time, and I will continue to say this every week because I need this point. Um, I need this point to be all the way established and driven the fuck home. I'm not a media personality. I do not. I have literally with everything going on in my creative career. I have zero aspirations to become a media personality. I am simply just an artist. I am simply just a creative with a podcast. If that makes sense. Sound good? We're all everyone's clear on how that works. Is that right? Is that right? Either way, if you are on the YouTube side, like the fucking stream, or I'll fight you. Um, yeah, and share, or I'll fight you. Just simply, simply how I'm feeling today on this Monday. Um, You said I like it. I like it too. I'm so glad that we were able to figure this out, um, and get this to work on the YouTube side. Um, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that really does like it makes my heart happy that we were able to get it going on the YouTube side. That's why it was the other week when I was like, oh, I might tell y'all, and I was like, no, I'll just let it be a surprise because I had to figure it out. Um, I had to figure it out. We were also gonna try and do it on Instagram as well. Um, Instagram has too many parameters though, and the comments on the Instagram side wouldn't have came through the chat. So um, yeah, that wouldn't have worked. You dig what I'm saying? That wouldn't have worked. I need to be able to see all of y'all here on my chat. You all can't see it on the screen because I don't. I'm. I've said this before and I'll say this again. I got that from Jazzy Guns of where she doesn't have like how if you see her stream, she doesn't have her chat showing. That's where I got that from. Um, that's where I got that from. Not just because of like I'm embarrassed, but it's just like that thing of where it's like, hey man, I don't need it to psych me out. Since I know a lot of y'all like examples. Case in point, last week the big creator community Twitch channel showed us some love last Tuesday, right? Yeah, last week. That literally was last week. That's crazy. Um, because yeah, tomorrow will officially have been a week since that happened. Um, 41 individuals came through on that raid. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know. I don't know if it was that obvious for y'all in chat, but to have had to have introduced myself to all of those new faces was quite literally. And I'm not saying that I don't want y'all to do that again. Y'all are always welcome to come and raid over here and show the love. Um, but it quite literally was nerve wracking as shit. So now imagine if I would have had them on screen like this. No, thank you. Yeah, dog, because that shit would have. Yeah, it was exciting, but it was also nerve wracking because it was like, okay, all right, don't stumble over your words. Remember to introduce yourself. Remember to thank the community page for for sharing for sharing the rest of the community with you. Hit all of the points. Remember to remind folks that you're a big, like, you know what I mean? All of these notes that I had to remember, all of these mental notes that I had to remember in my mind. Um, yeah, that's why we did that. That's why that was nerve wracking. It was exciting, but also nerve wracking. So that's why I don't have the chat on the screen for those that wondered. For those that have ever wondered why we don't. Um, Share the chat on the screen. All of that being said, yeah, um, yeah. Salute to the YouTube side for, you know, the way I was sitting here and stressing and thought that um I had to hit a certain and specific mark over there before I was even allowed to do these things. Um, and finding out that that wasn't the case, it just it makes me feel really really good. Um, is all I can and will say about that. I said, proud of you. I mean, thank you. And since we're at it, let's just address the kind of it's not large, but let's address the green elephant in the room. For those of y'all that might be wondering or might be like a little confused and be like, "Oh, what happened with you streaming on Kick? I thought you were gonna do the Twitch and Kick thing, and I thought that was gonna be your thing." Um, cool. Let's talk about it. Um, for those of y'all that might have any aspirations into getting into this content creation game or like this form of entertainment in any like way, shape, or form, I'm gonna just keep it a whole buckaroo with you right about now. This is a business. Um, and quite literally, I'm the type of person of where even legit right now, I'm not gonna stump on nobody's game or fuck up anybody else's bag for any of my other like fellow creators that stream over there on Kick. It's just as far as I'm concerned, and as far as my business is concerned, Kick decided that they were going to play in my face. And they were like, yeah, so this is how it'll go if you're going to continue to stream on Kick with us. And I was like, oh, will it? Bet. I was like, bet. Watch me not. Hmm. Because again, it's that thing of where Again, I know what a lot of y'all gonna do. A lot of y'all who are on the outside looking in are gonna do. He's not even that large of a content creator to be acting like that. Who the fuck does he think he is? Somebody who sees himself as a brand and as a business. That's who I know I am. Not think, not who I feel like. That's exactly who in the fuck I know I am. Okay? So quite literally, because of the fact that Kick didn't look at me as the same way, I was real respectful about it. I was like, oh yeah, nah, I'm cool. I'm all good. But respectfully with love, I'm going to be taking my content, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to be taking my content business elsewhere. And again, like I said, I have a lot of friends in this space that stream on Kick. There are a lot of fellow big creators that stream on Kick. So I'm not gonna fuck up anybody else's bag by sitting here and being like, don't go and watch any Kick. Like, no, bro, like go do that. You want to continue to support the streamers that stream on Kick, do that. But I tell you whose blackface you won't see over there. Because this shit ain't no plaything for me. This shit is not a plaything. I very, very much treat this like you know what I mean? I very, very much so see this as and treat this as a business. And I am not to be played with, nor am I to be taken lightly with how I handle my business. For those of y'all that couldn't tell by the title today, that's what's going to be the main theme of this pod for real. Is really that conversation is like, you know what I mean? And from passion to business, because it's really like that's literally. I'll get into the story time towards the end of the, you know what I mean? Towards the end of the pod, and like make sure that you know what I mean, just tie a whole good little bow on the conversation for real. But it's that thing that you gotta understand. But it's that thing of where again, even all of my aspiring artists, right? Whatever your art is, whether you be graphics, like you know what I mean, a digital art and graphics design person, um, whether you be on the production side of things, whether you be a video editor, whether you be a videographer, whether you be an actual, like, you know what I mean? Like, whether you be an actual musician or whether you be an actual, like, um, or whether you actually be an actual, like, musical, like, singer, songwriter, lyricist, whatever the case may be, right? The best advice I could give to y'all, because this advice wasn't given to me when I first started coming up, which is why all of a sudden, like, you know what I mean? The last couple of years have been going how they've been going because of the fact that I finally decided that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, I started to take those steps early, right? 2017, middle of 2016, technically, until now. I started looking at the things and realizing that I wanted to turn what it is that I do into a business. Not even turn it into, like, I started looking at it like that and treated it as such. And once I started doing that, that's what, like, you know what I mean? That's when the opportunity. That's when the bigger opportunities started coming, and the big tour opportunities, the opening up for certain acts, the, like, you know what I mean? The being asked to do, like, not set designing, but like set production. Um, you know what I mean? All of the things, because of the fact that I started seeing that, I started to look at what it is that I do as a business. Started to look at it and I started to treat it as such. Now, mind you, up and coming artists, up and coming entertainers in general, when you do start doing this, you're gonna rub certain folks the wrong way. Uh, I'm here to tell you that's fine. It's going to happen. And they'll get over it. Stand on business. Literally and figuratively in this instance. Stand the fuck on business. I don't give a damn if you've been asked to perform at somebody's birthday party. Don't you never in life be like, don't you never in life let somebody be like, oh well, I've known you. But I remember when you was born. I remember when you was little. Blah 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 blah, and all of these other things. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Or my favorite one that people like to try to use towards me a lot. I know who your parents are. Cool. But you're doing business with me. So I've known your mama and your daddy your whole life. Yeah, cool. That's nice. That's cute. And yet and still, my prices are, y'all get what I'm saying? Up and coming artists, or newer artists in this space, regardless of what genre or what style of music you do. Exactly that, my sweet. Change your value for no one. Your price is your price. You can negotiate. You can negotiate, folks. You can negotiate. You are always open. Always be open to negotiate with folks, especially if they have a specific budget or whatever. But know in the back. But know in your mind, you will go no lower than. You dig what I'm talking about? In your mind, know that there is a number that you will not go any lower than. Our lowest number that you will go is this price. Anything under that is an insult to you. Because we don't have to get into it. But like, you know what I mean? The things of where it's just like, because quite literally the other day, another one of my fellow producer friends was like, "Yo, bro, like, what do you be charging? Like, what do you be charging people for beats?" I just told him it depends on the client. For one, this person's not as far along in his like, you know what I mean, in his production career as I am. So I just feel like it would be fair. It would be unfair for me to tell him what it is that I'm charging and what I'm getting for selling my, like, you know what I mean, for selling my beats, and then him thinking that that's the price he's supposed to be getting. Where it's that thing of where that of where so as I've worked my way to that. You know what I mean? I've worked my way to this point. I quite literally have worked my way to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I work my way to what it is that I'm earning now, if that makes sense. Hope it does, because it really should, for real. Makes sense? Good. Because that's just that's what it is. I'm not, like, you know what I mean? I'm not. Now, yes, there are those things of where it's certain people, um, there's certain people where it's just like, oh, I'm working with y'all for the first time, so that on this type shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So we'll do some workarounds, and you know what I mean? Get y'all to a, you know what I mean? we'll get like you know what I mean. First time we'll give first time customers and things like a different price point and a different kind of situation to make them want to come back type shit, right? Because marketing. Um, what else? What else? Oh yeah, and then there's also that thing of where it's like there's certain people that are pivotal that not even that were that are very very pivotal like pillars and pieces and like um the contributors to the trajectory of my career. So quite literally, and I will say this on my platform, yes. For those of you motherfuckers that are mad that those individuals and companies and groups get different numbers than you, okay, be mad. You motherfuckers weren't there giving me my first opportunities like these people were. Y'all motherfuckers weren't there when like you know what I mean? When a certain individual was putting me like you know what I mean? Was giving me my first performance opportunities at performing at a lot of these block parties. When folks was like, "Oh, we want to book you, but we just don't know how to get in contact with you." Hello, I'm right here in front of you. Like, hello, quite literally in front of you. I have a Facebook page because you know at that time that's the thing that was popping. So it's just like I'm quite literally am on the social medias, so you could like, you know what I mean. You could have reached out a myriad of places. But you want to be mad because of the fact that this individual, like, you know what I mean, these individuals have reached out, like you know what I mean, like mad because these individuals had my direct line and was like, "Hey, yo, for the next 3 Saturdays, we gonna have you doing these 3 block parties. You down? Sure, whatever. It ain't nothing. It ain't never been nothing." And then when I made the transition from gospel hip hop to regular hip hop, there was another one specific individual Every time he threw an event, I was down to be one of the artists on the bill. Give a damn if it was in a fucking small ass dive bar on the other side of town. Fuck that mean to me? Fuck that mean to me? What that mean to me? That you know what I mean? So quite literally, I tell both of these individuals the same thing every time. All you got to do is send a bat signal in the air, and we'll make it work. You put that motherfucking bat signal in the sky, and we already know what time it is. We will move things around, and we will make stuff work. Quite literally, because the two individuals that I'm talking about worked with me when I didn't have a leg to stand on, when I didn't have no motion to be like, when I didn't have any motion for them to be backing me the way that they were backing me, but they backed me that way. Just believe it's that thing where it's like I'm not mad. It really just is that thing now of where I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Again, to any of my new and up and coming artists in the scene, there's gonna be moments of where there's gonna be moments and there will be seasons in the scene where you are the hot commodity and you are the it, like you know what I mean? You are the it kid and the it person on the block, and everybody gonna want to work with you, and everybody gonna want you to do their shows, and everybody gonna want you to, you know what I mean? Everybody gonna want you. Type B type shit. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, again, a lot of motherfuckers gonna try to be funny and gonna be like, "Oh well, haha, what season are you in?" You'll get there. Is essentially what I'm saying. So where am I at? I'm in the season that I'm actually the most comfortable in. For real. If we can be honest, because it's that thing of where if we are being so fucking for real, I am working with the people that want to work with me. I am only going and doing business. I am only going and doing business and working in these places where I am celebrated and not tolerated. So it's that thing of where, yeah, cool. A lot of you newer artists can be like, oh, why aren't you working with such and such? I have my reasons. Or the thing could be vice versa. Why such and such don't reach? Why such and such and them don't reach out to you for doing their shows? They have their reasons, albeit not valid ones, but they have their reasons. It's like you're not gonna try to figure out what they are for what. And again, I bring this up a lot, not because of the fact that I think I'm better than anybody, but just because of the fact that that shit is quite literally just a simple fact of life. I toured, I did multiple tours and multiple festival runs for 3 years fucking straight. What? So what do I need? Like, I quite literally am not some new nigga. It's also that thing of where, and I've said this before, talking to my drummer from my band, Sly. We were having the same conversation. He's just like, bro, like the hip hop scene here in the city is like has gotten weird, and it's just like it's not that it's gotten weird, bro. Yeah, yeah. To all of y'all hip hoppers here in the city, yeah, I'm calling y'all niggas out. Y'all have y'all favorites. Y'all have your favorites. Y'all only do shows with with a select specific group of folks, and anybody that's outside of that, it's almost like trying to break down the goddamn, like, you know what I mean? It's almost like trying to tear down the goddamn ice wall from Game of Thrones to get, like, you know what I mean? Fan, I got these on. No, I didn't get these ones online. I got these from a local shop here in town. I'm glad that you like them. Welcome in. Um, what was I talking about, chat? Oh, that my bad. My bad, Brody. Fine. Um, got it burnt into memory now though. Shit, what was I saying? Damn it, ADHD. Oh, yeah. You hip hop showrunners here in the city. Um, yeah, man. Y'all have y'all favorites. Um, and quite literally, it's like trying to break into like, you know what I mean? And quite literally, anybody who's outside of like those spaces is like trying to break into Fort Knox to get, like, you know what I mean? To get y'all to accept anybody new. And Not even to get y'all to accept anybody new, but for y'all to accept anybody new, period. Y'all are quite literally gatekeepy as fuck. And yeah, I just think it's a little weird. Oh, but trust and believe, the feelings aren't hurt. The feelings aren't hurt, and I'm not. This is not like my way of like me like trying to advocate or like beg for y'all to give me an opportunity. I'm quite literally okay. I'm quite literally okay because it's that whole thing and that whole point and the whole point with me where it's just like first of all I'm more of an R&B artist anyway. I just have a high enough energy that works great for a hip hop show. But you know what I mean? I just have a high enough energy and a performance style that works well for hip hop shows. But quite literally, my content is all the way up and down R&B. The majority of my music is 90+% like love songs and like relationship music. So like so yeah, for it to be that thing of where like you know what I mean? Back when I was in like you know what I mean, my dark space, and then I when I had a little depressive depression stint towards the tail end of 2023, it wasn't even a small one. It was a pretty heavy one. But you know what I mean? So like I'm sitting there on a daily basis, like cussing mad, like talking about trying to figure out, like, man, why the fuck these people don't fuck with me for real, and blah blah blah, and all of these other things. And then it's just like the more I just started to sit back and like actually pay attention to just be like, it's like nigga, you want these hip, like you know what I mean? It's like you want these hip hop motherfuckers who didn't really, and let me not say motherfuckers because y'all are cool, um, but you quite literally want these hip hop folks who many different times in many different ways have have showed you through their actions that they don't think you're hip hop enough to accept you. Like, bro, make that shit make sense for yourself. Make that shit make sense for yourself. These folks are showing you multiple different ways that they don't think you're hip hop enough. And then also, so like you know what I mean. So that was 1 week that I had to like, really process that. And then it was that other thing of where it's just like, but to be fair enough, I kind of have since transitioned out of the hip hop space like quite some years ago. If we're being so for real and so fair, I haven't really looked at myself like a hip hop artist. You're getting ahead of me, but you're absolutely right, and I appreciate the love. Um, but yeah, it's that thing of where, like, quite literally, chat. I have not considered myself as a hip hop artist since like what 2019, like 2019. Middle of 2018. Middle of 2018. If we're keeping it so gangster, it was about the last time. Was about the last time I looked at myself as a member and a contemporary in the hip hop space. And do I know how to rap? Yeah, pretty decent at it, depending on who you ask. Um, but what am I doing a majority of on most of my records? Singing. And now, what's the kind of like three places that a lot of our music usually like really lives now? Chat, pop, punk rock, and R&B. And oh, I promise you, me, I'm not sad about it at all. Um, Case in point, and reason why I'm not sad about it, Miss Lady J already said it. Anyone that can't accept me doesn't deserve me or my presence. That goes for all of y'all though. That goes for all of my fellow artists out there. Anybody that can't accept what it is that you like, you know what I mean? And it's cool because it's also that thing of where, from a business standpoint, of where it's that thing of where, for me, I don't get upset, right? I don't get upset because what's this nigga's Twitch avatar? Okay, tell me something. I thought that was a butt cheek. Anyway, yeah, I quite literally am at that space now where that's just like the mentality that I have. Where it's just like legit, if y'all don't want to hang around and like you don't want to do business with me, that's fine. Because quite literally, for all of the people that like keep asking me why do I not work with these specific like people who do shows in the hip hop spaces, um, because they have a clear like select group that they run with and that they love, and that's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody's mad at them for that. Uh, but it's just also that thing as far as on the business side of things. Y'all are only going to be y'all are only going to be able to cater to a specific demographic because of the fact that y'all have the same like recurring players. and playing at y'all shows. Nothing bad about that. But it's that thing of where if we can be so for real, it's that thing of where y'all not gonna be able to get mad or be upset or get confused about the simple fact when you see me quite literally doing a tour that might not make sense to you because it might be one Sunday I make an appearance at somebody's church. And then the following Thursday through Saturday, I'm in the like you know what I mean? I'm in this like you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Sunday I'm like you know what I mean? I'm doing a song selection at somebody's church, and then the following Thursday I'm at this brew house um on the palm colored side of town. And then that Saturday and then that what? I said that Thursday, then that Friday I'm doing then Friday and Saturday I'm doing a couple of the ratchet clubs. And then the next Sunday I'm doing a gospel set at somebody's church in LA by the beach. Like it should not be confusing to you. And you should not be upset nor confused about it because at the end of the day, I've said this before and I will say this again. It's a different kind of level of music that I make. It's quite literally a musical experience with me when I drop, when I come out. Like you know what I mean? It's a different situation every time I drop. I quite literally can announce the title of an album that I'm gonna drop, and you're gonna be stuck for the next like you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I could drop the title of an album that I'm gonna drop 2 months from now, and like you know what I mean? And you're stuck for the next 2 months trying to like wrap your brain around how in the fuck and what in the fuck is this shit about to sound like? Like, be so fucking for real. Like, what is this shit really gonna sound like for real? When like you know what I mean? When it drops, I have no idea because the last album sounded like this, but given this young boy's ability to be quite fair and quite frank, I don't know where he's gonna go like you know what I mean with this project based on the name. Case in point, chat. The last album we gave the world was what? Backstage Passport, right? Y'all got a little peekity peek into my life, into the stuff that goes on. You know what I mean? Into the stuff that has happened and has gone on in my life that has nothing to do with the, like, you know what I mean? That happens to It has to deal with the off the stage stuff. This thing called life that we all live, right? The next project is called Dark Side Diaries. For those of y'all that have heard the snippets that I've been using for the Instagram stories, you have an idea of the direction that we're gonna go for the album. Yeah, y'all have an idea of the direction that we're gonna go for the album. And then the project after that is called Retro Nostalgia. And that's coming out when I think y'all are ready for it. Or better yet, let me say it in better terms. And that project is coming out when the music is ready to be received by y'all. Again, a lot of my a lot of the members of a lot of the cozy clubhousers will be like, "Nigga, we're always ready." Case in point, a lot of the cozy clubhouses will be like, "I'm always ready." I know, and the immense amount of support that you guys show off of every drop, um, exemplifies that. But it's also that thing of where, you know what? No, people don't have to understand it, but this is exactly how the fuck this shit's gonna go down. I actually give a fuck about what it is that I'm putting out and what I'm giving to y'all. I actually give a damn because it's that thing of where I sit here and I look around at the music and the content around me that's coming out. I quite literally have to give a damn just to separate myself from the noise. It's only fair and it's only right. It's only fair and it's only right. Because quite literally, in too many different ways and in too many different instances, I have seen I have seen other artists give y'all mediocrity and just expect y'all to just accept it. And because it's just like, oh well, that's what it is, and that's what you know what I mean. That's what it is, and that's what we own right now. And that's why everybody, specifically in the hip hop space, because in no other spaces are they saying that, but specifically in the hip hop spaces, that's why a lot of you know what I mean, the people that are covering the hip hop, that you know what I mean, the hip hop spaces and sectors are like, bro, this shit is not what it used to be, and this shit is not hitting on nothing for real. It's a fact that my hip, like my, you know what I mean, the friends of mine that are like, you know what I mean, that are active members and movers and shakers in the hip hop space are coming to me and being like, bro, this shit is in kind of a weird spot right now. Like, what do I do? I'm like, hey man, tell the truth and keep doing your job. It's all you can do. Tell the truth, keep doing your job, and you keep giving a fuck. Just because all of these little motherfuckers that's getting a microphone now want to get on the microphone and like do some shit that's gonna like go viral on TikTok and that's gonna make them a bunch of money real quick, doesn't mean that all of us have to do that shit. Doesn't mean that all of you have to do that shit. Case in point, some of the coldest people in hip hop right now, to me, if you ask me, are all people that don't have major, are all people that don't have major deals, and they songs don't go viral on TikTok like that. I give you a 2B. I give you High Up Seer. I give you a Corbin. And a whole bunch of people that's gonna be like, oh, well, you not gonna like, you're only just saying that, you're only bigging them niggas up because them niggas is your friends. It's like, yeah, they are my friends. But also my ears work, nigga. That's also the other thing. My ears work. I hear what the fuck is going on. I said that shit on the Saturday stream. After we got done reacting to all of them, like, you know what I mean? After I had 24 hours to digest really what it is that we reacted to musically. I should not have been more excited. Yes, I should have because of the fact that I love R&B as much as I love R&B. But taking that out of it, according to you guys, the masses, not y'all in chat, the masses, I'm breaking the fourth wall for a second. According to you, the masses, I should have loved that Cardi B freestyle way more than I love the Eric Bellinger album, but I don't. So what's the, like, you know what I mean? So what are we talking about? But I don't. So now what's the conversation? Case in point, since we want to talk about, oh, you only always talking about these people because these are your friends. I mean, yeah, but so, it's like, yeah, and also, so what? Um, Kiki, my sister Kiki the brat, right? She she dropped her her project Emotional Gangster Part 2 drops this weekend. I'm excited for that. Why? Because her voice doesn't sound like all of the rest, and she's not even a rapper. So it's just not that. It's that thing for me of where she quite literally took the time to develop herself as an artist. Something that's lost on a lot of you little motherfuckers now. Artist development is legit not a thing to y'all niggas anymore. It's also that thing. The executives are not exempt. Make no mistake about it. The executives are not exempt. The executives are not safe. They quite literally have gotten lazy. We've gotten into this kind of like formulaic and algorithmic ass wave of where it's that thing of where y'all wanna, you know what I mean? Folks wanna only release songs one at a time. That again, let me get into that. There's not a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's how you want to do that shit for like a year or two, cool, do that. But be very, very purposeful in how you do that. Like, don't just like, you know what I mean? Don't just give us any old thing for the sake of feeling like you just got to give us something. Okay? And this is coming from one of your peers who also makes music, but also from somebody who also like loves this thing called music and listens to a lot of this thing called music on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as a listener of music, I am literally beseeching you and begging you, if you're gonna go that route, don't just give me whatever and think that I'm gonna just be okay with it. You want to know a key point and an example of that? Um, I'm actually not afraid. I'm actually not sad and afraid to keep bringing this up. And all of you barbs that want to come at me, come at me. Let's talk about it. Cause y'all want to dick suck this motherfucker that doesn't even like. You know what I mean? This woman doesn't know you. This woman does not know you from Adam. But y'all niggas want to defend this woman with y'all whole life. Want to take time out of y'all day to dox motherfuckers and like do dumb shit. for this person who actively doesn't give a fuck about you, and then will turn around and give you something for the first time in a long time with Pink Friday 2 will give you a record of where it's just like, okay, she's back to giving a fuck, right? Like, okay, Nicki's back to giving a fuck about writing lyrics, or like, you know what I mean, about lyrics or whatever, about lyrics and rap shit or whatever. Then turns around and gives us a response record via Bigfoot. But y'all niggas' heads is so far up this woman's ass, refuse to sit here and be like, nah, that shit wasn't good. That wasn't it, champ. You shouldn't have put that one out. You shouldn't have pulled the trigger on that one. They didn't want to be like, nah, fuck what they talking about, Nikki. They all wilding. You're doing amazing, Queen. The entire world is just gone crazy. We're wilding. We're wilding though. But y'all the barbs, right? The same motherfuckers that's visiting this young lady's deceased mother's grave sites. But we're wild. We wild. We're wild. But this woman who literally doesn't know you from a hole in the ground decides at any moment in time that she can weaponize y'all, and y'all niggas, like, you know what I mean? At any moment in time, feels like she can weaponize y'all. And when this fucking woman says jump, y'all motherfuckers just dick suck immediately and say how high. But we're wilding, right? That lady don't give a damn about y'all. After you done spending y'all little hard-earned money on her, she don't give a damn about y'all. That is a one-way transactional experience. And I, as an actual lyricist and songwriter, am telling you, song for song, Hiss was a better record. Hiss was actively the better record. And maybe a couple of years later, when the Delulu wears off for all of you barbs, y'all motherfuckers could go back and actually, like, you know what I mean, use your actual brain and do some actual, like, comparative shit. And you'll come to realize that, like, oh yeah, nah. Like, nah, we love Nicki, but like that shit wasn't it. What does that have to do with the theme and today and what I'm talking about? Actively give a fuck about the product that you're putting out. That's my point. Actively give a fuck. Actively give a fuck. That's not just on the music side either. Content creation as well. To all of my fellow content creators, actively give a fuck about what it is that you're putting out. Don't just put some shit out because of the fact that y'all got it. Like you feel this pressure to be like, oh, but I gotta stay in their face every day of the week. No, the fuck you don't. You don't gotta do shit. If you don't post but every 2.5, like you know what I mean? If you are a YouTuber and you don't post but every 2.5 weeks, you know what I mean? If you don't post but every 2 weeks on your YouTube channel, make them videos fucking worth the 2 week wait. Every goddamn time. Give a damn what them people say. Make your shit worth it. And especially on the content creation side of things, everybody has a clientele. I mean, that's with anything, but especially on the content creation side, everybody has a clientele. There is a market and a target demographic for you. Find out who those motherfuckers are, cater to those motherfuckers. Beat them over the head with your content. And watch how quickly you turn this thing from a passion into a business. Case in point, let's get to the streaming side of things. You want to be a streamer, all you got is a cell phone and Wi-Fi internet. Maybe your phone can't handle that. Maybe all you got is a PS5, a PS4, a PS5, and you know what I mean? And you working your way up to get a face cam set up and things. Boot up that PS5 and cut on that, like, you know what I mean? Cut on that game, whatever it may be, and stream away. Make the clips. Make the clips. And post a couple of the things on the YouTubes. Take those steps. This is coming from somebody who actively used to stream on their cell phone. And now look at me. Using this here good old browser based software and making it do what it do. We'll get back to the OBSs and things in time. But we're definitely gonna have to save that for the big body setup. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And with that's gonna come alerts and different sound and like you know what I mean, and sounds for the donos and all the shit. And for those that are wondering, yes, I'm actively working on a raid video. So that way, when folks come through and share the love and we get the big body raid, I don't have to sit here and be like, hi, if you're new here, my name is Bambi and I you know what I mean? And I do all the things, and these are the things that I do here on this purple app, and here's my socials and blah blah blah. Like, nah, we're taking the steps. We're working towards elevating this thing. But why are we taking the steps, and why are we like? Why am I so adamant about that? Because I actually actively give a fuck about this. Not because it's that thing of where it's like, oh, you can make money off of streaming on Twitch. Let me just put my walk my way over here and boot up a stream real quick so I could get me a chip. No, I quite literally love this shit. That does not take away from the fact that your follows, you're tuning into the stream, you're supporting, like you know what I mean. You're supporting my music when it drops and everything else that it is that I do. Like you know what I mean. It's not to say that any of that is not important, but it's that thing of where it's just like if you couldn't tell, I am actively about creating this content and giving y'all some dope ass music to live your life to at the same exact time. And now, on that side of things, getting back to it, for people who want to know what kind of music it is that I make, because for whatever reason, y'all niggas are too lazy and y'all don't want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to actually have a reason and feel enticed to go over there and listen to the music. Um, let's break down what it is that my music is and what it does. Like, you know what I mean? What time of day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, for those of y'all that's like, oh, like, well, what time of day can I play your music? Like, what would be like your sub genre? Like, first of all, let's get into it. Predominantly, I'm not even gonna say R&B. So predominantly a R&B pop artist. Yes. Mm-hmm. There's some soulful vibes in there. Yes, because you know what I mean. Because I grew up in church. Speaking of church, there's a conversation that we're gonna have that we're gonna talk about that as well in a second. Um, but yeah, so there's a soulful element in my singing voice because yes, I grew up in church. And growing up, we couldn't listen to any secular music. We listened to gospel music and Motown. How I found out about all of the music that I found out about is I grew up and I got a little rebellious and I decided I wanted to do my own damn thing. And that's when I got introduced to R&B. And then hip hop came around and then punk rock and then pop music and then so on and so forth and what have you. But as far as my music is concerned, predominantly R&B pop music. As far as the genre is concerned, right? So what that means for you as the listener, that means there will be melodies, harmonies, songs will be in a certain key, all of that musical musicianal shit. Yes. Now, what would I describe my music as? Life music. Why do I call it life music? Because it's music that you can live your life to. It's music that you can live your life to, and there are also elements in there that should be able to give you life, give you a different perspective on your said life. And motherfuckers would be like, oh, this nigga just yapping, preaching, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I am. Don't care. I am. And I give less than a damn about it. But it's that thing of where quite literally, quite some time ago, I was told and then I came to realize that for myself. I was told by someone who's older than me that my music was going to, like, you know what I mean? That the gift that I had, that my God given talent and ability that I have been blessed with was going to reach more than just people who went to church. Mind you, I started off as a gospel hip hop artist, right? Cool. Just so, like, you know what I mean? For all of you newbies, we're keeping this in context for you. Yeah, my music started up. So, because it's quite literally this thing of where this conversation that I was having with somebody, with an individual, because it's that thing of where like I was very very early. I was still very very young in my musical career and endeavors, and it's that thing of where it's just like I'm having this urge to write songs that necessarily don't have anything to do with God, but it was because of the fact that I was surrounded by so many super Christian, like you know what I mean. I had so many super Christians speaking things into my life that they thought were helping, but quite honestly was only just hindering and terrifying me. Hmm. Oh yeah, it's episode 15, and I'm here to talk all of my shit. I hope you're ready. Um, like I was saying, had a lot of these super Christians that were like that called themselves pouring into my life and like trying to give me advice and things where when I'm telling them about like, yo, like I kind of like have this desire to be like an all around like singer songwriter, like just like this kind of like all around like super versatile like like musical artist, right? Let me break down to you the conversations that were had. I said this to one individual. They said if it doesn't have Jesus in it, if God's not in it, don't worry. Like you know what I mean? If you're not gonna be talking about the goodness of the Lord and what the Lord has done for you in your life, we're not gonna want to hear it. They were on the right track, they just didn't say it right. I'll get back to that point in just a second. Go to another person that so called seems like so called so called somewhat called themselves pouring into my life. I told them the same exact thing. They were like, they're like, nah, God's not gonna be pleased with that. You should feel dirty for even telling me something like that. Mind you, the way I told this person, you would have thought that I told them I was making audio prawn. Like, you know what I mean? You might have told them that you might as well have thought that I told them I had desires to make audio prawn. The fuck is that? Anyway, and told another person about it. This person is actually somebody that I still talk to actively about music and life and everything else often. Um, and he gave me some of the dopest advice that I could have ever got. I told him what I was feeling about like as far as like on the music side of things. And he quite literally looked at me with a straight face and just said, pray about it. Mind you, I did actively pray about it. But it was that thing of where because of the fact that the other two people's inputs were also in the back of my mind doing this thing, nipping and nagging at my brain, It was hard for me to like really focus on what the goal was or focus on what I wanted to do next, right? Yeah, I remember the year now. My sister's getting ready to go off to college. We're having her graduation party. Yeah, my sister had just finished graduating high school. We're having a graduation party for her. They're in the middle of finishing setting stuff up in the everybody else is in the middle of finishing setting stuff up in the building. I'm having this conversation with the you know what I mean, with the good friend outside, and he just looks at me and he's just like, he looks at me stone faced and calls me by my government name, uh, which for those of y'all that don't know it, hello, hi, I'm Jordan. Yeah. So he looks at me and he's like, Jordan, what you got to realize is the call and the gift that you have on your life musically is going to expand and reach people farther than just the ones that go to church. And he's like, and whoever it was that, mind you, I hadn't told him about what these other people who I talked to said, looks at me and says, and whoever it was in your life that told you, whoever it was in your life that told you to do the opposite of that, stop listening to them. Because here's what it is that you do: you operate in the gift that God has given you. God has blessed you with this talent for a reason. So, what does it make sense for you to just share it with other people that just share the gift with just people who go to church? How is that fully you fully operating in your gift? You said that part. Mm-hmm. Exactly. No, he cooked. He cooked when he told me that. Because quite literally, I was just like, I looked at him and I thought about it. I was like, yeah. Why? How is that fair? How? Yeah, like how is that fair? How could I possibly ever? Yeah, yeah. No, you're onto something. You're spitting there, my guy. I'm with that. I like that. Um, Again, any of the viewers out there that might not, um, here's the way I'm gonna say this. I mean to offend your spirit. I don't. I mean to offend your beliefs. Call me if you get lost and text me when that makes sense. Reason why I say that is I'm not going to assume that everybody who comes across my channel, whether it be on this here purple app or if you're coming across the Cozy Clubhouse TV channel on YouTube, I'm not going to assume that any of you any and everybody that comes across this channel believes in God. I'm also not gonna be one of those motherfuckers that's gonna convince you. That's gonna like convince you and try to coerce you and force you to believe in what I believe in. You believe in what you believe in for the reasons that you believe in it. That has nothing to do with me. That's not my business. You come here and you seek me for entertainment. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You didn't come here. You didn't come to this channel to have religious debates. You came for entertainment. Now, as far as if your spirit ain't right though, respectfully, the door. Because that's about. Because that's all that this is about. Because I knew very, very early that I was called to be a light in a dark place. I figured that out early. I was a junior in high school when that was spoken over my life. Granted, I did not accept the call till I was 20 years old. I stubborn. I was stubborn. Okay. Let's just like you know what I mean. Let's just call a spade with it. Let's just call a spade a spade. I was a super stubborn individual. I'm still stubborn now. I'm just stubborn with a purpose. I'm stubborn for the right purpose, I should say. Which again, we will get to when it comes time for me to put a bow on this. But what I want to say is, as far as that, I was called to be a light. Yeah, I was called. I realized and recognized very, very early that my call was to be a light in a dark place. So what that means is I have the ability to go places and to meet people and to interact with folks that some of you folks will never get to interact with ever in life. And by some of you folks, I mean you Christians with your capes on. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about you, dun da da da, Christians. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I told you it's episode 15, and I'm here. I'm big here, and I specifically hope that every bit of this section pisses you off. Because the part of this is just that the part of that is just that with this is the y'all motherfuckers are seeking like comfort in this shit, and like there's nothing comfortable about what it is that, especially for me, there's nothing comfortable about what it is that I've been called to do. Because in all that it is that I've done, I have interacted with some people and I have met some people that have told me some things about um, their lives and their family that if they would have told y'all, y'all wouldn't have known how to, you Christians wouldn't have known how to handle it. You wouldn't have known how to handle it. Deadass used to be that thing when I was a little bit younger. The way I tell you, I used to actively get pissed off when it would be like, why the fuck is it like certain people I meet just feel the need to tell me everything about their goddamn life? Like why? For what? It's like why? For what? What do they gain from that? Come to find out, from one of my lesties, aka lesbian besties, for those of y'all that don't know ball. Um, yeah, I went out to lunch with one of my lesties one time. She was like, and I asked her the same thing. I had to be about 26 at this point, 24. Not 20. I was like 26 because it was like a little bit after my 25th birthday. I was like a fresh 26. Um, and I was like, yeah, man, I don't get it. Like folks just I don't get it, man. Like people just love to like tell me about everything about their life and what they got going on. And she was like, no funny stuff. You want me to tell you why that is? I was like, I don't think you really are, but like, I was like, I don't think you're gonna tell me anything like really like viable or useful. But go ahead, shoot, humor me. I'm all ears. Quite literally, she goes, it's like from your eyes and the way that you carry yourself, it lets people know that it's a safe place. You know what I mean? It's a safe place with you. People feel safe with you. And for a lot of people, you're the one safe place that they have. Because you don't judge, you don't condemn. Even when somebody's wrong and they fuck up, you tell them that they're wrong and they fucked up in the most loving way possible. Everybody doesn't have that gift. The way I tell you, she told me that, and I got home, and that actively broke me down the real good way. um, yeah, that there messed me up in the best way possible. Now, I've also developed this thing called discernment of where I can just also understand that some people just overshare, but I know the difference because it's that thing where like there's a lot of people that like I'll say that and then there'll be motherfuckers that'll be haters and be like, "Oh, well, you are aware that some people just like oversharing for the sake of overshare." Yeah, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people that don't know you from nobody and just come up to you and just be like, yeah, man, this is the first time I've been out in a long time, man. Um, and it's just like, yeah, man, because it's like, yeah, man, I'm just out here to have a good time. Got a lot of stuff going on with my family and blah blah blah, and my wife and blah blah blah, and my wife and X, Y, and Z, and that, yeah, I'm talking about that. That's oversharing because I know the difference. I done met a couple of you young ladies and young men that like to overshare. I used to hate when that happens, but now it's just that thing of where it's just like, all right, you clearly have something that you need to get off your chest at this point. I've come to understand that. I've just come to understand that. It's like, okay, you clearly have something in here that is hindering you. Like, you know what I mean? You clearly have something in here and in here that is like hindering you from allowing you to be yourself. So whatever it is, let it off. Don't trauma dump on me. Don't trauma dump, but whatever it is that you got going on, let that shit out. Because holding it in isn't going to do anything for you. So, you know what I mean? Let that shit free. Don't hold that shit in. It's not healthy. Take it from somebody who would know. Holding shit in doesn't get you anywhere. I'm just saying. Again, I get it. Like, a lot of people trust. I was one of those people that used to be like, I hate when this shit happens. And sometimes it really do just be that thing of where some people they just wanted to vent. Other times I've been able to give really, really, really clutch advice when it was asked for to certain people. I've also come to realize that that thing is a gift. That there is a gift, especially when it comes to the fact that where it's like people who I can tell by the way that they carry themselves don't share a lot with a lot of people, and they just start sharing shit with me. It's like, oh yeah, they feel like this is a safe place. They see me as a safe place. And trust and believe, chat. In my younger days, I hated that shit. So I was like, no, fuck that. I don't want to be a safe place. I'm dangerous. Grr. Like I'm dangerous. Fear me. You gonna fear me. Ah. And then it just like got a little bit older and then I thought about it and I like think about that shit now and it's just like, yeah, okay, buddy. That's cute. It's like, yeah, that's adorable. You just wanted to be mad for the sake of being mad, nigga. That's hilarious. Sit down. Um, that's me talking to my ego. The girl was everything. Oh, but yeah, that's like this is really like that's how I envision my ego. I envision my ego like just like nah, y'all gonna fear me. Grr, fear me. I am Jordan's ego. Be afraid. Be afraid, motherfuckers. And it's just like, and then the logical side of my brain is just like, you done? You good? Did you get it all out? Cool. Get the fuck off the table, please. We're having a meeting. So, anyway, what's gonna happen is, yes, that girl disrespected you. Said you needed that laugh. I'm glad I could give that to you. Um, but yeah, then the logical side of my brain be like, yeah, that girl did you wrong. She broke your heart. And yes, you could tell her where to go and how to get there and give her very very vivid, descriptive, detailed directions on where to go because she hurt your little feelings. Or because of the fact that motherfuckers also don't act like this. Other motherfuckers, not you. But, you know what I mean? Because of the fact that there are other motherfuckers in the world that do not act like this, you could just show this individual love in spite of. But what if you don't want to? Join the club, buddy. You think Jesus wanted to die on that cross for everybody's sins? You think motherfuckers who have day jobs want to get up and work for that boss that they can't stand? You think Shorty that work at that job where her boss is a pervert wanna go into that job every day and deal with that nigga? Nah, but she got the kids at the house, and them kids gotta eat. Join the club, buddy. You are not the only motherfucker on this earth that is doing stuff that you don't want to do. But it's also that thing of where for the people out there that might be wondering why it is that I am the way that I am, for those that give a damn, right? Just like, man, Bambi's so chill. He's always showing love. He's never like I've never seen Bambi mad or upset about anything. It's just like I don't even know if stuff even really sets him off for real. There's stuff that does. Y'all will never see it though. Or I'll do my damnedest to make sure that none of y'all ever see that shit. Because quite literally, it was brought to my attention a couple of years ago when I was working in food service that when I get upset, it makes motherfuckers uncomfortable to be around me when I'm when I'm PO'd. Now, mind you, a lot of these people have told me this while I was PO'd. So the advice was received, but it wasn't heard. It's like, okay, I get it because of the fact that I'm mad, and when I'm mad, I'm the kind of mad of where it's just like I'm gonna flip this entire fucking room over, and then you're not gonna talk to me for the rest of, like, you know what I mean, for the rest of like whatever, right? Reason why that doesn't work in food service, communication needs to be had. You know what I mean? Communication needs to be had when you're prepping food for people. Hmm. And it's that thing of where, yeah, take your ego out of it in that instance. Yes, yes. Um. So yeah, it's that thing of where it's just like I'll come to realize that of where it's just like it's like, oh yeah, nah. It's just that thing of where it's just like when I'm. It's the same thing about. It's the same thing. It's the same thing in the same instance about of when like you're around a spoiled ass bratty child, right? Think of that. Think of what that feels like to be around that. It's not the most comfortable situation, is it? That's what it's like when I get mad. It's that thing of where, like, yeah, somebody might say something or do something that might piss me off now, and it's that thing of where it's just like, all right, bet, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cool, whatever. Make no mistake about it. I could actively be pissed the fuck off, but this is the thought process that goes through my mind right now. Somebody says or does something disrespectful. Okay, I could wild off. I could wild out and go off and act like a complete ass right now. But then what? But then what? Somebody disrespects me and I could actively beat their ass. But then what? I know for a lot of y'all, it's like, but violence, but you'll feel better. So, you know how else I'll feel better? Keep living my fucking life. Because quite literally, what I've come to realize that with certain people, when you're interacting with certain folks, Mm, interesting. That's crazy about you. Anywho, like I was saying, what I've come to realize with some people in certain instances in life, certain motherfuckers just like to get reactions out of people to play the fucking victim. Other people like to just do shit because they're upset about some shit that has absolutely nothing to do with you. Not a damn thing. It don't got a goddamn thing to do with you. But yet and still, you know, it's gonna be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So next time, my fellow supporters, next time somebody in your life tries to try you, assess the entire situation logically. Because here's some game that I want to give to y'all. You actively only put your hands on somebody when they have first put their hands on you. But what about if she called me? I don't care. What about if he calls me? I don't care. Did they touch you? Did they touch you? Did they threaten your life? Then shut the hell up worrying about that person. Whatever it is they got going on, don't got shit to do with you. I promise you that. I promise you that. Is your life in danger because they stepped on your toe? And I don't want no, well, to me, I feel like no. In all, is your life in danger because your toe was stepped on? And trust and believe. Go to sleep. It- some of y'all actively my brain to go lay down. Because quite literally, that's some smart ass bullshit that I would try to pull. I can tell from your response Depends on where I'm at. I could be on the train tracks. Why are you actively near some train tracks? Like, see, because now we have other questions. Yeah, nah. Go lay down. Quite literally. What do you what? Yeah. Well, if you're near some train tracks, you're obviously in somewhere your ass don't need to be. Respectfully. So whatever else come after that shouldn't have been where you should, like, you know what I mean? Shouldn't have been where you wasn't supposed to be, and maybe that wouldn't happen. Sound good? All right then. Because at that point, because I already know what happens after that. Then that's when y'all motherfuckers start being like, well, what if I was in the middle of the street, walking across the street, and then all of a sudden we wind up in space, and now the door. Because now you quite literally are just chatting. How'd I get in trouble in a hypothetical situation? You brought it up. You shouldn't have brought it up. You messed with the wrong one. Or the right one, depending on how you want to look at it. Cool. Whatever makes you feel better inside. Anyway, to wrap that part of the talking point up, here's how this goes. Some people on this earth literally actively just wake up and are unhappy because the sun is shining. That's not your fault. That Karen that always gives you trouble when you go to the grocery store because in her mind she still acts like it's 1962, and she can't stand you just quite simply just because your skin color is different than hers. That has nothing to do with you. You can't help the fact that you were born with the skin color that you have. That's a heart issue. That is a inner issue that Karen has. That don't got jack diddly squat diddly do to do with you. So respectfully, with love, fuck that lady. And I just fuck that lady. Fuck any of them people that think like that. I got people in my family that are active homophobes. Do I love them any less? No. Will I ever bring all of my friends around you? Hell no. Because it's that kind of thing for me of where it's just like I'm gonna let you think how you think, and I'm gonna let your mind be stuck back in wherever the fuck it's stuck back in. But what will not actively happen in front of my face is you will not disrespect me and mine. That go for you church folk as well. You don't gotta agree with all of my friends' lifestyles, but you should love them just the same. How is it so easy for me to do that? Probably because I came to the realization that I don't have a heaven or hell to put my friends in. And quite literally, at the end of the day, whoever it is that they choose to love doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't. It's different than what you're used to, but that doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. It quite literally and quite honestly only makes somebody living a different life from you. And that's why you don't like that person. So again, sounds like you need to take yourself into your own personal inner sanctum and deal with those kind of issues on your own. Or those are the type of things you need to take to your therapist and you need to discuss with your therapist. Type beat, type shit. And I said what I said. Hell you talking about? And I ain't sorry either. It's 2024. Y'all gotta get out of that. We gotta get out of that. We gotta get out of all of that. All of the isms. It is 2024. All of the isms quite literally have to die. And not just in GTA. Forgive me for my outburst. But I said what I said. On the to get that out, and that's what we're here for. Love to hear it. And yeah, so for any of y'all that are gonna see this, whenever it is that y'all see this, and want to be like, "Where's that coming? Where did that come from?" That was 30 years worth of frustration that needed to get out. 30 years worth of frustration. Because it's that whole thing of where, cool, let's just be honest. Let's talk about it. Let's address it then, right? Case in point with me. When people see me say things like, oh, I love women, or nah, let's not even go in that direction because I already know what y'all motherfuckers, what a lot of motherfuckers think when I say that. Motherfuckers actively think I'm a hoe, and I don't care about that shit. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna think what you gonna think, and I'm not gonna change your mind on that. Um, but respectfully, due to the fact that who I'm with, like, you know what I mean? Respectfully, love, due to the fact that who I fuck doesn't make you come, that shouldn't be any of your concern. But let's have the real conversation about me being polyamorous, right? First of all, everybody's initial thought is they get it confused with polygamy. I'm here to let y'all know polyamory and polygamy are two different things. The difference being the difference being polygamy is what people who practice Mormon faith believe in. Not all Mormons, but polygamy is a belief, is something that's traditionally connected with people who are traditionally practicing Mormon faith. So them folks have more than one wives. Quite literally, let's break down what all it is that I do, and let y'all know why polygamy doesn't wouldn't work for somebody like me. Music artist, a producer, a content creator, a member of the big creator team, a label owner, a black man in America, a son, a nephew, a role model, a active member of the artist community in my city. In all of that work that I'm doing, respectfully with love, what in the entire fuck do I look like trying to add the stress of having two women to take care of at the exact same damn time? I don't judge anybody. that believes in polygamy or anything like that, it's not my bag. And if that's your thing and that's what it is that you want to be into, cool. It's not my bag. Respectfully. It's not my bag. There's also layers to that. There's layers to that, just like there's layers to this to this poly life as well. But the overarching theme is for polyamory is that you and your partner can also have other partners depending on what was discussed. Now, I know what the biggest thing for a lot of, especially like me being black, right? Me being black and me being polyamorous, having that conversation with um, a lot of women from my community. The conversation always seems to loop around, or not even loop around to the conversation seems to always directly dart to that. You know what I mean? Seems to always make a full steam ahead beeline for. So what you're saying is that I'll never be good enough for you, just me by myself. Whoa, whoa. First of all, never said that. You assumed that, which quite literally is already bringing up some insecurities. Um, that I'm gonna need you to work on personally if you would like to pursue this any more forward. Because quite literally, what needs to be understood is I could be a one person man. I mean, I've been it my entire life. Like, you know what I mean? I've been a you know what I mean? I've been a one chick kind of guy my entire life. It's that thing of where is rather than lie and sneak around and cheat and do a whole bunch of infidelity as level shit, I'm at that point of where it's that thing of where could be 2 weeks from now, could be 2 months from now, could be 20 years from now. Might be somewhere and be like, and whoever my main partner is, we might need to sit down and have that discussion and be like, hey, just so you know, I was out at Starbucks today getting a coffee, and I met this chick while I was getting coffee, and she thought I was kind of fly, and I was kind of feeling her vibe as well. Thoughts? And also, the thing that people have to understand is that because in polyamory, There's this thing called open dialogue that happens. Your partner also has the right to be like, oh, you said somebody else likes you? Yeah, nah, fuck that shit. Dead it. And you have to respect where your partner comes from, is coming from. You have to, you know what I mean? Because it's that thing of where it eliminates arguments and ego out of the equation. Frivolous arguments. There'll be things you will argue about. Relationships, shit happens. You're gonna argue. You're still gonna argue about stuff. Being in a relationship, but it's also that thing of where you clearly have to understand, of where it's just like, yo, if whoever you're with, who you said is going to be the main person that you said you're gonna be with, right? You have to respectfully, with love, respect their wishes as well. And if they can so they quite literally have that right to look at you dead in their face, dead in your face, and be like, "Oh, you said somebody else likes you? Yeah." You said it's like, "Oh, you said you thinking about bringing somebody else into this situation?" No, quite literally no. And because of the fact that this is a partnership, you have to respect those wishes. Or if they with it and the conversation goes like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Go ahead." Or the conversation can go like, you know what I mean? That's one way the conversation could go. Or the conversation could be like, "Oh yeah, you like her? She kind of cute or whatever." Like, yeah, go handle that. But here's how this is gonna go. She not coming in my house. She's not driving none of my car. Like, you know what I mean? She not driving my car. She not laying in our bed. We not, like, you know what I mean? We not going to dinner, just the three of us. None of that shit. You also have to respect those wishes as well. Non-traditional monogamy. Now, again, I know what you super Christians and you church folk are gonna say about that, and that's fine. Um, I'm not bringing that shit up for you to agree. I'm not bringing that shit up for anybody to agree. That is a lifestyle choice that has been introduced into my life, and it's just something that makes sense for my life. Okay, I'm not asking for anyone to agree or to be like, yeah, you got it. Be that polyamorous guy. Do the things. I don't need anybody cheering me on or being in my corner about that. Because quite literally, I'm from the thought process of what I eat don't make you shit, and who I fuck doesn't make you come. So that shouldn't be. So whatever it quite literally it is that I do for my personal life should not bother you that much. No, you don't have to agree. No, you might not meet every single individual that I talk to for reasons. For reasons. But respectfully, with love, that should have nothing to do with nothing. And you should respect me as the individual that I am, and you should not look at me any different. Look at me any different because of the fact of how I decide to operate and navigate my love life. Yeah, because quite literally, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. It's my love life, me. So if that shit makes sense for me, it don't gotta make sense for you. Because last time I checked, when Shorty do that thing she do with her tongue for me, that doesn't affect you. Last time I checked, anyway. But again, it's this era that we live in of where, to be quite frankly honest, and I don't like, you know what I mean. This might set a lot of people off, and I could care less. But it's that thing where at the end of the day, we live in an era where motherfuckers are just sensitive, and folks like to complain about stuff because they have the platforms now to complain about stuff. That's the only difference about now. So everybody want to be like, "Oh, what the fuck happened to the world?" And like, you know what I mean? People done changed, and folks done got more sensitive, and blah blah blah. It's like, no, these same individuals have always existed. These same types of individuals have existed since the beginning of time. The only difference is now there's this thing called the internet. So now is that thing of where these motherfuckers' voices seem louder because they're allowed to unite, and they you know what I mean, and they don't feel alone, and they're allowed to unite vis-a-vis this thing called the internet. So it just feels like more people are sensitive and complaining about more things. No, they've always been there. They've always been there. I've worked with a majority of them in 2018. Hi, y'all. I'm doing well. But yeah, that's really the only difference. The only difference is that the internet exists, or the internet is what it is now. So it just feels, and it's with everything, right? Just like, oh, it feels like it's more freaky shit. It's more X, Y, and Z, and all of the other things. No, always been here. Internet's just more sophisticated. Internet's just more sophisticated. Internet's a little bit more advanced. So the way stuff works and the way your time and the way it hits on your timeline makes it feel like, mm-hmm, that's all it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just that the internet has went from I'm the internet to I'm the internet, motherfucker. What's up? Like that's all, literally all that happened. It's literally all that's going on right now. The internet is just going through puberty. Literally all that's about. Now, to putting a bow to back to putting a bow on everything, right? About finding my passion, about turning your passion into a business. Told you 6 million different examples. You got to peek into my life about, you know what I mean, where what I started out doing to where I'm at now. Um, and it's the whole thing where, for me, I brought up the conversation of church, right? Now, some of you lovely individuals might not believe in it, might not deem it important, might not fuck with going to church, right? That's cool and that's fine. Personally, for me, it's a main staple of everything of how I remain rooted in this here business. That is the entertainment business. Um, because it's this thing of where I was watching the R&B Money podcast. Again, shout out to Tank and Jay Valentine. And they were having this conversation about, it's crazy how when people talk about you moving to Hollywood, they talk about all of this crazy stuff that they think you're going to do or think you're going to get into. And the crazy thing is you have to allow that stuff to be introduced to you. Yeah, you have to allow a lot of that shit to be introduced to you. So for those of y'all that still have this idea of where it's just like, oh yeah, like these kids are gonna like these kids have these ambitions to like go to Hollywood or like be entertainers and everything and like, you know what I mean? The very second, soon as they start to get successful and make them some money, then they gonna start having a bunch of sex. They gonna get into all of these kind of drugs. They're gonna like time out. Quite literally flag on the play. You do know, even at your highest heights of success and fame, and rolling in the residual dough. No is still a thing that you can say, right? Maybe it's that thing of where, because of the fact that like people who have like maybe have like not ever felt the call on your life, or have never felt, or have never had like dreams or ambitions to be in this entertainment space. Maybe like that's the idea that y'all have of like the entertainment industry as a whole, right? It's like y'all just think it's just a bunch of rich motherfuckers having a bunch of sex and doing a bunch of drugs and getting involved into a whole bunch of crazy shit. Um, where the actual thing is what y'all have to come to realize is that whatever it is that these people are getting themselves, that you know what I mean, that these big A-list entertainers are getting themselves involved in, is whatever it is that they've allowed into their house. Because quite literally and respectfully, as bad as it is that I want to be into the entertainment industry, I don't want to be into the I'm not that desperate that ain't nobody finna play with my booty for me to be in the industry. Again, if that's what you're into and that's your thing, no judgment here. I'm not going to yuck your yums, but respectfully for me, I'm not going to devalue myself to get further along in my career. Now, a little bit into my personal life, chat, I do want to, for my own personal and like inner self reasons, I do want to start going back to church more. For me, though, this don't have nothing to do with, oh, because of some stuff that I've seen, or because of some stuff that I've experienced, or because of some things that I've gone through. No, nigga, this is because I want to. For me. For me. For me, chat. This is a decision that I am making for me. Because I know in here, there's just one little piece missing. There's one little ingredient missing. You know, like when you're cooking and you're just like, it needs something else. That's my something else that I need for me. Now, again, this might be like like a really like weird and like super awkward ass way to introduce to all of my church going fam and friends that like I'm making my way back to my home church, but that's a thing for me. That's a me thing, nigga. I'm not coming back home to my home church because, oh, my daddy made me, or because, like, you know what I mean, or because there's this one little cute ass girl that goes to my dad's church, that goes to my home church now, that I'm trying to see what's up with. No, nigga, I'm going for me. Because this isn't complete without it. Because at the end of the day, what do I talk about all the time, chat? I'm operating in my God given gifts. It almost feels like a disservice for me to not like it feels like a disservice for me to not operate in my God given gifts. Do I not say that a lot? So this is just another one of those things where for me, life has, like, you know what I mean? The way that life has lifed, like, yeah, something's missing. Like, yeah, something's missing. We need to get back. But we gotta get back for us though. But for and when I say us, I mean me, myself, and I. That's who I'm talking about in those instances. So yeah, and trust and believe, chat. There's some other people that I'm gonna be texting and talking to about it. Um, Specifically, my dad being the first person that we're gonna talk to about that and have that conversation. Um, because I really, really mean, I mean this, and I take my life a whole lot more serious than than a lot, like, you know what I mean? A whole lot more serious than folks would like actually realize. Um, I take my life serious, and I take my career just as serious. I take my career just as serious as my life. So yeah, it's that thing where it's like I'm not doing this to get anybody's approval. I'm not. And it's quite literally that thing of where let's talk about it. It's like, oh, you gonna go back to church. So does that mean you gonna stop? Does that mean you gonna stop blowing trees and taking shrooms? No. No. Because for those of y'all that don't read the word as much as I'm not even gonna say as much as I do, but for those of y'all that only read the Bible 3 times a year, let me break down what the Bible says about stuff like that. It says to not do any of those things in excess. So yeah, chat. I started back drinking a little bit, but I don't get drunk. Not to the point of where I'm on my ass drunk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I, I smoke a little weed, but I'm not just sitting here on stream like, yeah, chat. And so the next thing we gonna do is we gonna get into this motherfucking what was I talking about? No. As far as psychedelics go, yes, I dabble in the shroomery and a couple of others. I don't do them bitches every day. Why? Because quite literally, I have shit to do. Respectfully. So yeah, I have some things where, you know, I turn up, I do my thing. But it's that thing of where if you see me out and about, for those folks locally who I'm speaking to now, for my local supporters, if you see me out and about at a Full Circle Brewery or at any of the bars in Tower or or at a village kickback with the homies and you see a drink in my hand, know that that's probably the first and last one that I'm drinking for the day, and then I'm on water the rest of the time. Maybe a Red Bull. I know a lot of y'all energy drink drinkers gonna be like, "What about Monster Energy?" No, because I care about myself, and I actually actively don't want to die. Um, vis-a-vis a heart attack. Um, quite honestly, I don't need that. I'd be chat. Y'all seen me? I be zooted up off coffee. So what the hell I look like just chugging energy drinks for funsies? Then also for those of y'all on the content site wondering like, oh, what does that mean for the content? Is the content gonna change? It might, not drastically, because for the fact of the matter is, especially like as far as the music is concerned, like what is there to be ashamed of as far as the music is concerned? Because I sing love songs. But what about all of the songs about sex? So you've never had sex before in your life? I sing about it a lot. I'm not having sex every day. Again, back to the in excess. That's one thing that I'm actually like super duper glad to brag on is my sexual health. My sexual health is immaculate actually. No disrespect to all of you niggas that like to play with danger and, fuck anything that will let you. Um, and then wonder why your life is in all kinds of disarray and turmoil. You know, it's a spiritual thing that's connected to that for me that I take very, very serious. So to all of the beautiful ladies that see me around at the art hops and at all of the different things with the thornberries and at the Kiki the Brat shows and all of these other things, and you being like, man, like I've been seeing him for years and I've been trying to throw it at him, but he just like will not catch it. You're right. I will not. Because respectfully with love, A, I don't know what you throwing at me. And B, I don't know if I'm willing to accept those consequences of what I'm gonna get back up with after laying with you. Not just on the transmitted disease side, but also spiritually. I don't know what I'm gonna get back up with. Respectfully with love, I know what they're throwing. Cooties. They're throwing cooties. Cooties is what they're throwing. You don't want that. You don't want that. You're right. I don't. Respectfully with love, I don't want your little cooties. You said that makes me weird? Cool. What else is new? Been a weirdo. So that makes me a nerd? Cool. You see my sweatshirt, nigga? You think I care about being called a nerd? I watch anime, stream on Twitch, and have a Discord server. You really think I care about being called a nerd? Oh, and I play video games. Can't forget that. So you actively think I care about being called a nerd? You clearly don't know me. Random individual number 672 that's gonna drop that in the comments to try to be funny. And come over there and be like, nerd, ha 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 ha. And then all of my geek and nerd following gonna be like, you rang, you called us, you need something, huh? What you want? No, I was calling him a nerd, but you when you said nerd, you called all of us. So what do you want? Oh, you thought you was gonna come over here and be funny. Respectfully, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. So yeah, as far as that, like, cool. I'll be, you know what I mean? I'll be lame. I'll be awkward. I'll be a geek. I'll be a nerd. I'll be a square. My dick clean though. It doesn't burn when I pee. Hmm. Conversation hit different now, don't it? Being a nerd sounds a little bit more attractive now, don't it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, quite literally, to all of you random young ladies that are like, "Oh, he's just cute, but he moved different. The way he moved just ain't cute to me." You not who I'm worried about, ma'am. You are not who I'm worried about, ma'am. Because quite literally, due to the fact that I don't know you, but respectfully, a good 90% of you young ladies that are saying that are probably community coochie. So I don't want you anyway. Don't want it anyway. Respectfully, and I've said this multiple different times. I don't know how many more multiple different ways I have to be able to say this, but the kind of women that I'm attracted to, um, play video games, are nerds to a certain capacity or another. You'll probably see us nerding out about Disney movies. And then on a cozy Sunday afternoon, before I get on here and boot up stream, yeah, I might just got done cuddling up with my girl watching Jujutsu Kaisen or Naruto because she wanted to rewatch the third season of Naruto for whatever reason. Hey man, I'm here for a good time and a long time. Said it takes a nerd to know a nerd. Yeah, what of it, nerd? Did you not just hear me say I'm so okay with being a nerd? And not for nothing, I don't know if y'all have been on Twitter and Instagram recently, but not for nothing. If we want to talk about girls that are absolutely bad, respectfully, um, I'm gonna have to get off of a couple of y'all's pages for a couple of weeks, cause my God, didn't nobody tell me all these girls that play video games were this fine. Anyone else hot? Jesus. Oh my. Um. So yeah, respectfully, random city girl number 688. Um. Yeah, to you, I can move different. Yeah, to you, I can move different because if you seen what it is that I'm attracted to, respectfully, you would be like, "Oh yeah, he's out of my league." So yeah, to all of those women that be like, "He move like he out of our league or something." I am, and it's that thing of where like I'm just about to be straight up with the shit. This is how I'm flirting now. You cute, and I see you somewhere, and just be like, "Shit, so what's up? What's your favorite Disney movie?" I don't have one. Damn, strike one. It's like damn, that's tough. Strike one. What? Huh? Nothing. Don't worry about it. What's your favorite video game? I don't really play video games like that. Damn, strike two. What you say? Huh? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Um, favorite cartoon slash anime of all time. I be watching the Bad Girls Club and stuff. Like, I don't watch cartoons. I watch the Zeus Network. Excuse me. Um, excuse me. Well, I'm just gonna take my drink and I'm gonna move to that side of the bar. Um, was it something I said? It was everything you said, respectfully. Um, I'm gonna move to that side of the bar with my friends. Um, you enjoy the rest of your night. Cheers. Whew, dodged the bullet there. Jesus. Shorty said she watched the Zeus Network. Don't need it. Remove thyself from me, thought. Oh my gosh. But yeah, chat. That's the thing, right? It's just like I'm being funny about it, but like that's really like that's really like honestly like where um that's honestly like where I'm looking at, like, you know what I mean? Just the whole way that I'm looking at it with my life, because especially now to tie everything back up again and turning your passion into a business. I'm passionate about all these things, right? The YouTube. I love making the YouTube videos that I make, right? And all of those things. And I love that y'all love them as well. Um the Twitch streams, right? Like we've been going crazy over here. The consistency is growing. We are quite literally on the path to affiliate as we speak. Um and I told y'all this in private and said that to that, you know what I mean? I've said that to the chat as a whole, to the community as a whole. The goal is to hit affiliate. We're on the path to that, right? We're on the path to that. We're only in the third month of the year. Talk to me nice. Again, R&B hasn't been the space that the R&B community is in an actually like a really really great space. I just don't think it's being highlighted enough. I took initiative and I took it like you know what I mean. I took initiative and I decided that I was going to be able to do my that I decided that you know what I could do my part regardless of how big or small it looks like to the people. I decided that I'm going to do my part as far as contributing to the R&B space and the R&B community. Considering all that the R&B community has done for me, yes. When I was in when I was in the space that I was in, it wasn't no rap songs that helped. Like, you know what I mean? When I had my first initial fight with depression, it wasn't no rap songs that helped me get through it. It wasn't no help. It wasn't no rap songs that helped me get through that shit. When I actively was having those those bouts, those like, you know what I mean, those mental bouts with considering, like, you know what I mean, and like, you know what I mean, having those fights uh, with consideration of taking my own life. I didn't turn on no 1-800 song by Logic. No diss to Logic, but it's just like I didn't like that's not what I cut on to help me get through that. It was gospel music and R&B. And speaking of mental health, that's another thing that I'm passionate about, right? Because we sit here and we're all being goofy and we're cracking jokes and we're making jokes about stuff or whatever. But what's that thing of where anything mental health related comes up? What happens? What do I do? In all seriousness, y'all, I know we're having fun, but if you are somebody you know is having any kind of battles with mental health, regardless of how big or small, mental health is serious. Take care of yourself. In the early streams, what did I used to say all the time before I got off stream? You are important. Your life matters, and you do have like you know what I mean. And your life does have value. That still stands. That's still yet and still stands right now. That still stands right now. Anime and gaming. We get into that. We have those discussions. We have those talks. Do we not? Now, again, I know a lot of y'all in chat don't watch anime like that, but y'all be here for when I get to nerd out and when I get to have my little nerdy nerd moments about my favorite animes or whatever. My all-time favorite anime is Hunter x Hunter. And what's my full stage name? Bambi X Bambi. Now, albeit the stuff that I'm into is just like, bro, kind of sound like a weirdo and sound kind of awkward or whatever. I am, depending on who you ask. I am. It's that thing though, right? There's a demographic of women, specifically in this kind of space and community, um, that I think need to be treated like they're the most beautiful women in the entire world. Because guess what, bub? To you, they might not be, or to you, it might be like she got all these followers on Twitch and Instagram, and all she do is sit down and play video games all day. Hmm. First of all, that lets me know that you don't know how the gaming industry works. Um, Notice I said gaming industry because it's quite literally an industry now, chat. It's gone from just a couple of motherfuckers um, on YouTube. You know what I mean? Just doing the things and playing video games to now it's not just men, it's men and women going crazy with the gaming content. Men and women going crazy with the gaming content. Yes? But here's the thought process of here's the thought process and here's my whole thing, right? Specifically the women in the streaming and like content creation space, right? People want to be like people want to ask now, be like, oh, so who's the target demographic? Like, well, I make R&B music, so like women, like you know what I mean, like women generally, right? Um, you know what I mean. The target demo is definitely women, but if we were to like, in a sense, niche down and be like more specific, specifically the beautiful queens and goddesses that are also pretty as hell and will all like you know what I mean, who are pretty as hell, but will also fuck your ass up in some Mortal Kombat. Like you know what I mean? Fuck your ass up in some Mortal Kombat. Not me. She got to see me. I don't care. I might lose like twice, but she got to see me. You know, the girl that might be shy and awkward in public, but she fuck your ass up on that Fortnite though. Again, she got to see me, but I'm not gonna say that she not a shooter for real, but she got to see me. She got to catch this issue just because I'm competitive, not because I don't think that you'll take me out in MK. You got to see me, bit out. You said bet for sure. We could do that. Now, again, I know a lot of y'all that are like watching it is like, man, this nigga yapping like shit. What's the point? The point is, I've made it specifically my mission this year to make it abundantly and evidently clear that the women that fall under the category of a nerd, a geek, a weeb, for those of y'all that don't know, a weeb is somebody who is like obsessed with anime culture. She could be predominantly a K-pop girly, but when my song come on, yeah, 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 she might like to read her a book every now and again. She might be into computer science. She might be obsessed with Disney movies. She might like to play Overwatch. Like I don't know whatever the case may be. That's my goal this year. My goal is to make you, specifically you beautiful women, feel seen. And for y'all to have somebody who is a and for y'all to have somebody who is in the R&B space to help y'all feel seen. Cause it's crazy because I look at it and I look across the board and it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like y'all listen to R&B and like, you know what I mean? Y'all have y'all you guys have y'all ones that y'all like, but none of them niggas are specifically catering to y'all until now. Until now. You've heard all of the things that I'm passionate about, and y'all are actively in real time watching me turn all of these things that I'm passionate about into a business. Follow with me. All that being said, W stream on both sides. Shout out to the YouTube side. Bang, 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 bang. If y'all are new and y'all came over there, y'all are watching this on the playback, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, or knuckle sandwich. That's the music for both chats. Go stream the music. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the link to the Discord. Hop over there. Come be a part of the cozy clubhouse. If you're a weirdo, we will kick you out. The bad kind of weirdo. The good kind of weirdos are accepted. But if y'all niggas is gonna come in there and be weird, myself or my mods will actively kick you out with a swiftness. With a swiftness. Tomorrow, chat, we're gonna just be live on Twitch. Because, well, y'all know, R&B church service. And YouTube, I love y'all, but y'all know what it is. What else? Oh, the prompt. Um, tomorrow, here, butthole. Hey, yo. I'm sorry. I'm eavesdropping. Um, what we did the leaders of the new school last week. Um, um, um. Yeah, we did. We're gonna do your favorite. Yeah, let's do your favorite old school R&B songs again, because there was so many we didn't touch. I mean, it's so much R&B we still haven't touched. Uh, yeah, nah, we chilling. Yeah, nah, we chilling. Um, yeah, favorite '90s R&B songs, male or female, it doesn't matter. Um, '90s only. So from '90 to '99. Okay, so gives you a whole decade to work with. Uh, yeah, it gives y'all a whole decade to work with. I got y'all little roll it. You know what I mean? Dig into archives, get your little Rolodexes ready. Um, we're gonna be here not nine, 5 p.m. Pacific time, specific time. Uh, don't meet me here, beat me here. Um, until next time, I will see y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. Can't wait to get back with y'all. Try not to miss me as much. Take all of this love with y'all. Later, y'all.